this way, and I think our, playing in the dome on that turf is probably hard on guys that are banged up, so they might want to just, might be a hard game for them.
Your guys' running game has been doing pretty well the last couple of weeks. Has the offensive line been improving over the course of the season?
No question. I think the offensive line's improved all year. I think we've made a little more emphasis. I've made a little more emphasis of calling it more in the last couple games. But we've just improved. I think Coach Singovich's done a great job with our offensive line. They've improved each week. The games that Jordan Rose has played in, we ran the ball better, to be honest with you. Having that big presence inside at strong guard. We ran the ball real good in the first game. We ran it good in the last three. So, but we've continued to improve. That'll be a big thing in this game. We've got to be able to run the ball as well. We don't want to just drop back and throw it every down against these guys. They'll rush the quarterback too well. So we got to make them defend both the run and the pass.
They're another team that does a lot on offense with their quarterback running the ball. Mm-hmm. What impresses you about their offense, and how does their offense differ than the spreads you've seen so far?
They're a little bit more, coaches from the Fedora coaching tree, the stuff that, that he did when he was at Florida and at Southern Miss and Oklahoma State and now at North Carolina. So it's a little bit more, they try to go really fast. They run a little bit more of the read. We call it knife, but where the quarterback's going to run quarterback power, they run the sweep, they run more outside zone. It's not just true zone read. They try to mix it up. They try to get the ball in 23's hands as much as they can on bubble screens and stuff. But it's a little bit different. It's not really the option, that you would say from Georgia Southern or some of those teams, but it's definitely this day and age, this era's spread, go fast, offensive plays that a lot of people run.
Does the quarterback prefer to run first, or will he prefer to pass and then take the space when it's open?
I think he's an athletic kid that, I remember watching him when he was at Pulaski Academy in high school in Arkansas, and he is, I think, when he really needs to make a play, he'd like to make it with his feet, but he's improved and where he can throw the ball. He does a good job of throwing it at times too, but if he had his choice to make a huge play that made the difference in the game, he'd probably rather run it than pass it.
Was that something you guys were looking at down there?
The tight end that we signed, Hunter Henry, that's a great tight end for Arkansas, played with him. He was a year older than him, but we watched him. He's a really good athlete, won a whole bunch of games in high school. He's a winner. He's a good football player.
Your defense allowed 17 points last week. What did you like on film from that game?
We made turnovers. We did a great job of that. I thought our guys flew around and played hard, ran to the football. We shut down their receiver. We can do that. If we shut down 23 and he has no catches, we'll probably win the game. But that'll be a hard thing to say, hard thing to do. But we shut down New Mexico State's top receiver. We need to do that to Arkansas State's, along with controlling their running backs and their quarterback. But I just thought our guys flew around, ran to the football. Our defensive line, controlled the line of scrimmage and got after their offensive line, so that was a big part of it.
And you guys run, a few different running backs in the backfield. How do you determine who gets those carries?
Who's ever playing the best? Whoever practices the hardest during the week gets the first shot, and then whoever's playing the best during the game gets the most carries.
Do you think it's an advantage to have multiple running backs?
I think it makes them all work harder at practice. I think when you can have that depth at every single position, I've kind of said that since I've gotten here, haven't got it done yet, but when we can get that much depth at every position, then it puts more pressure on the kids to work hard every day at practice, and then if they don't get it done, then you just go with the next guy.
With the program like Arkansas State that's seen so much coaching turnover, how have they been able to sustain the success and become a coach champion or a champion of this conference every year?
They got real good players. The kind of who started it out when they first got it going. When it was Hugh Freeze and then Malazan, and they did a good job of recruiting. They got good players. So when you have really good players, it's easy to change coaches and still win. They got good players. They did a good job recruiting, and so it's kind of just they've been rolling, and then they're used to winning, and the players obviously do a good job of leading within. So you would think at some point it would take a hit on them, changing all the time, but it hasn't yet, because they still line up with some awful good players out there.
Going back to that game last year, you guys kept it pretty close until the fourth quarter, and talking to Coach Singles yesterday, said you guys were maybe more fragile last year than you were this year. Do you see that with your team this year, and maybe you'll be able to hang around in a game like that for longer?
No question, yeah, our guys, I think this year believe, and they'll keep fighting. You know, we cut it to a, one possession game, and then 23 ran back that kickoff for a touchdown. For our guys, I'm very excited. I think we're gonna be ready to go, and it's gonna be a great game, and look forward to getting after them.
Linehan sustained a concussion in that game, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, just checking. I don't know if those are confirmed.
okay.
Let's go to the phones for a bit. John and Dave, do you guys have anything?
Yeah, Coach, I know you mentioned Chad a little bit. You talked before about kind of you were impressed how he was patient, kind of waiting for his shot. How nice was it to see him obviously take the chance and kind of run with it against New Mexico State?
It was really good, it shows what hard work and staying focused and staying learning and working hard every day at practice, and then when it's your time to step up and get it done, you get it done, and he did a great job of that, so I was very happy for him and happy for us as a team.
And you said a little bit earlier that you're hoping to get him in there a little bit against Arkansas State and then possibly, I would assume, the rest of the year.
I don't know about the rest of the year. I can't look that far ahead. I just look when we get a time. But, yeah, this week I would say that they'll both play some.
And then finally, I want to ask you about Justin Petrowski and, kind of his improvement and just your thoughts on what he's meant to the offense this year.
Yeah, he's really improved. He's converted a whole bunch of third downs and fourth downs for us. I think anytime you can have a tight end that can go and get open, in option routes and the different things that we do in our offense, it just really makes it a lot easier for the quarterback. Definitely him and Matt have a connection. They played together in all those Sunday night scrimmages last year, and so Matt always looks for him. But he's just really improved, and they got a nice connection, and I'm happy for him. We need him to finish off and have 4 great games here at the end.
Thanks, Coach.
John, anything?
Yeah, Paul, when you said you probably have a package for Chad too, will it differ that much from what you have for Matt?
It does, yeah, it's a little bit different, yeah, we even when he got in last week, just try to do what they both do best. So, it wouldn't a whole bunch difference, but it's definitely a little bit different. So the reps that Chad always takes in practice each week is always the stuff that is in his package, and so that when he gets in there and gets ready to go, he's been repping it and been working it, and so it is a little bit different.
And you, in reference to last week or 2 weeks ago, shutting down Morgan and really taking that away from New Mexico State, were you able to do that without giving up stuff elsewhere?
Well, you gotta give up a little bit somewhere, and what happened there was our defensive line did a great job of controlling their offensive line. So we stopped the run, at times with only 5 guys in the box, and then at times we made it look like 5, and then we got another guy in there, and to get 6 in there, and we kind of changed it up on him. But when we were truly all the way doubling him, you gotta either play some other guys one-on-one or put 5 in the box. So you have to give up something at times, but I thought our D-line enabled us to do that by them playing so well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else in here?
Yeah, are you gonna be using Bradley back at safety again, or is Jordan gonna be back and be able to?
Jordan won't be back.
Okay.
No, Bradley. So it just kind of depends. Sometimes Bradley's at the nickel, and then sometimes Joe's at the nickel, and we move him back, and it just kind of depends if we're a nickel or dime or what personnel group we're in.
Do you think the secondary played better with him back there last week, or was it just based on the team he played maybe?
Well, it was just some of the combinations of, he was one of the guys that we were doubling Morgan with all the time. So really sometimes it was by what the call was. He was still kind of a nickel, but he just lined up backed up sometimes by what the call was.
Talking about Chad, how nice is it to have one of the most experienced backups, around?
Yeah, it's really nice. I think anytime you can have a couple guys that you feel good about, you can go in and play, especially this day and age, you watch, football at any level, and, it's just it's a contact sport. The quarterback actually the ones that probably get hit more than anybody, so you gotta have two guys that you believe in can go in for you, so it's really nice to have.
Have you had a chance to talk to Jake Logan about the things that happened in his hometown last week? How do you guys handle a situation like that?
Yeah, I talked to him, you know, I got on the phone with him right away when it first happened, and I think that's stuff between me and him, but yeah, it was really sad. You know, his little brother was right there, and his little brother was on CNN being interviewed, so, you know, you just pray for his family and for everybody there